So on this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about career mindset, right? But one way I'm going to kind of show you some ways to pitch the career at Vivint to a recruit in a meeting, right? And some of the questions you should ask and the way you should go about it. But the other one I'm going to talk about is how you, the recruiter, what should be your mindset? Like what should be your vision, what you should be thinking about before you even step foot into that meeting. One of the things that helped me stay at Vivint and really, get me all in was I saw that it was kind of like a corporate America meets summer sales environment, right? There was people walking around in business casual. We had Harvard graduates, we had lawyers, we had patents, and things like that, huge buildings, cafeteria. And that was a big deal to me, from going from a very small door-to-door company or just being a student in college to seeing that really helped me think that I can start a career here and I can build here. And that's what you need to portray to the recruits in that meeting. And so when I'm pitching somebody, when I'm sitting down with someone and I'm talking to them about Vivint and why, there's a couple of things that I hit on really hard. One that I say in almost every recruiting meeting is that, Vivint has the most patents in the state of Utah than any public or private company. The only people that have more patents than us is the University of Utah. And why I say that and why that is important is that we're not just a sales company, but we have patents on technology and other companies pay us a royalty to use that technology, right? And so they see this is big business. They know what they're doing. They're in it for the long haul. They're trying to build this thing and grow this thing for a long time. And that's really important to portray. Another thing that I'm always expressing is that we have 6 streams of revenue. So every other door-to-door company, when knocking, you have your personal sales revenue and you have your overrides on your team, right? That's pretty normal, right? Well, then we also have personal sales, 50-50 split on solar, right? And we have overrides on solar as well, right? So we have 4 streams of revenue right now. And then you get into monthly residual, right? When you hit the requirements now, then you have monthly residual on all those accounts, which is great. And that compounds every year. And I express that, I clearly show that to them. Like it starts off pretty small in the beginning, but after you've done 10 years at Vivint, it can be very substantial to your income, right? And then the 6th stream of income, when you hit that level, is RSUs, right? Restricted stock units, which is stock. And when you start showing these recruits there's 6 streams of revenue and you don't just have to focus on 1 or 2 and you're kind of diversifying your portfolio a little bit, they start to go, okay, I can start earning this in this part and then I tap into this and then I tap into that. And it really opens up the vision of how this makes sense for 5-10 year type of career. It is extremely important in the very beginning of that sit that you are paying close attention to what they're saying and you're listening as they talk about themselves, and you should be asking questions about them. And some of the things you should definitely be asking that I do in every single recruiting meeting is, if they are going to school, I go, what is your major and what are you planning on doing with that? And if they tell me their major is, microeconomics or it is civil engineering or something like that, right? I know right away that they're very serious about school and they probably have a very detailed plan of what their life looks like, right? And then I ask them, okay, what are you planning on doing with that? Perfect. And then I am in no way, shape, or form trying to get in the way of their plan and the way of their destination. All I want to do is help them get to where they're trying to go. And so I express that very clearly to them. Hey, this job was made for college students. It's perfect. I personally went to college. I got my 4-year degree and I did this simultaneously while I was going to college in the summers. And it helped me graduate debt-free, and it actually helped me become a better student because I wasn't working while I was going to school and I wasn't pulling out loans ever. And that gave me financial freedom to be all in on my studies, right? If the other answer is, hey, I'm majoring in communications, or I'm majoring, or I don't know what I'm majoring in, I'm unknown right now, I'm just doing this because I don't know, right? Well, it's a perfect opportunity to kind of say exactly what I just said, right, about how this job helps students, but then also say, hey, this can also be a career for a lot of people. The whole point is they should see you as the recruiter as someone that's there to support them, the person that's being recruited, to help get to their destiny, right? So we're just the vehicle to help you get to where you're trying to go. If that vehicle is, hey, I just want to graduate debt-free, perfect, let us be that vehicle to help you do that. I just want to do this job so I can stamp it on my resume and then go do something else, perfect, let us be that. That needs to be the message when you're recruiting. I'm here to support you to help you get to where you're trying to go. I'm not trying to push my agenda on you. And if we part ways down the road, we wish you the best and we fully support you. And they need to know that, and they need to feel that if you want to have success in recruiting. One thing I always ask in my recruiting meetings that I think is really important, I always ask them, what do your parents do for a living? And they say, oh, my dad is a lawyer and my mom's a school teacher, right? Well, already I know that education has been embedded in this kid, this recruit right away, right? There's no way that I'm gonna rewrite all of the information that's been given to this kid from his parents, right, about how important education is. And I'm not gonna say, hey, drop out of school and come do this job at all. I'm definitely gonna reroute my pitch to help support this kid while he goes to school. And if he says, oh, my dad's a mechanic and my mom's a stay-at-home mom, right? Well, then in my mind right away, I'm probably thinking, okay, this guy likes to work with his hands, or he's not really huge on education, or I have at least an idea of where he's coming from in this interview, and I know where to go and navigate this pitch. You want to kind of ask these certain questions because it helps you understand the person that you're working with and the person that you're dealing with, so then you can kind of customize this pitch to them so it makes the most sense possible for that recruit. In the very beginning, like the first 2, 3, 4 sits, you're not really talking about how Vivint can be this huge career, because they're not looking to make door-to-door sales a career. They didn't reach out to you. You approach them. 99% of the time you approach them and you're trying to recruit them. And so you're talking about how this job can help benefit them in many different aspects in their life and how it can be a vehicle to help them get to where they're trying to go. But then when they do have success in this job, or they do start to see the vision, they do start making a couple sales in preseason, they might start contemplating like, hey, this could be a career for me. This could be something big for me. And that is where you need to be able to show them how this can be a legit 5-year plan, right? And how this could easily be a career for them. And you show that by, the success that you've had and others have had. You show that by how the company can support them. I think, let's be real. There are many, many door-to-door companies out there right now that if I, Aaron Doria, went and transferred to their company and brought my guys, I would bankrupt that company because they don't have the resources to open up housing for 450 guys. They don't have the resources to get iPads and shirts and all that kind of stuff like that. But here at Vivint, 100%, if you tapped into a frat, right, and you go to a fraternity meeting and you win over 120 people, and they're like, hey, let's go. We're ride or die with Vivint. We'll be there May 1st. I'm bringing my whole frat with me, 120 people. You make one phone call, Vivint will have the housing opened up. They will have the iPads on the bed. They will have the shirts. They have the bandwidth, the technology, and the resources to build this thing as big as you want it. And that's the vision you need to have. And the other part that's really important about that is that as the recruiter, as the manager, as the regional, whatever position you're at, they 100% need to know that you're gonna be here and at Vivint for a very long time, and they have that stability to know they can depend on you and that you're an anchor here and that you're gonna be here no matter what. Because many storms are gonna come and go, and they gotta know that you're gonna be able to weather all the storms and you're gonna be here. And when they can feel that from you and they know that this person's a ride or die and they're gonna have a career at Vivint too, that gives them the support to make that next jump on going down that venture with you. So for my challenge for you today, it might be a little bit more difficult than others, I apologize, but my challenge for you today is when, let's say you're sitting with a recruit and they say, you know what, I'm really liking what I'm hearing, this is great, or that blitz was great, or my first year was great, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about making a career here. What does the next 5 years look like? What does a career look like here at Vivint? And you should be able to get in front of a whiteboard, or you should be able to be sitting across from them at a table and easily portray to them what the next 5 years looks like. What it looks like financially, what it looks like numbers wise, what they need to be doing, actionable items that they need to be doing, and show that very clearly. And if you don't know that right now, that's okay. But you need to be writing out to you what the 5 years should look like. You should be reviewing that with your regional manager. You should be practicing pitching that to each other. And then you should be very prepared for when someone does ask you that, there's no hesitation. You know exactly what a 5-year career looks like at Vivint.